Hello, this is Isaac, and in this tutorial I will show you how to create your own custom post type in WordPress without using any plugins. Not that they're bad, but this is just to teach you how to do it by yourself. And I will also teach you how to think like a developer, how to not rely on tutorials all the time, how to go and read the documentation of WordPress, which is really great, in order to build things. So let's begin. I have here a plugin called Job Post Type, and you have everything linked below in the description. And so as you can see, here it is, Job Post Type, and it's including a file called job.php, which is under the post type folder, and it has a basic boilerplate that renders the job post type, as you can see here. So all of this, which is very short, already creates the post type for you. So this is how easy it is. Now let's assume you don't know anything about how to register a post type. So just go to the documentation of WordPress. So this is the code reference, and it's very friendly actually. And let's type something like a register post type. Let's see if we find anything. So here it is, and we want this one to register a post type. So it tells you that there's a function called register post type, and you need to pass it the post type. So it's the post type name, it's a string, an array of some options. And then in the description you have here a note. Always read the description so you won't miss anything. It tells you that the registration should not be hooked before the init action. So okay, we will initialize it on init, not before. You can do it after if you want. And here you have the post types, the post type key, and some arguments like labels. This is an array, and public, if it should be public, or let's see, we have here like capability type. The default is posts, which is good enough for us. Capabilities, and if you want to have taxonomies, rewrite if you want to have the slug. So the slug is usually the default is the post type key. And pretty much just go over and read it. Okay, it's very simple, and you even have always examples of users doing it right here, so you can copy from them. And you see it's got 3 likes, 3 upvotes. This one got 1. So let's begin. So I created my own function so I can reuse it, as you can see here. Let's remove the sidebar. So we have the post type, get the plural name, the singular name. So these are all just for the labels. Slug, capability type, what it supports. What it supports basically means, what do you want to have in the post type of the job? Do you want to have a title? Do you want to have an editor? Do you want to have a thumbnail? Because when you use a post type, you get the admin dashboard for free. So it behaves just like it's a regular post. So a regular post has an editor, has a title. But because you're creating a post type, you need to specify if you want them as well. Maybe you don't want a title, okay? And taxonomies and the public means the user should see your post, that post type in the public view, right? Where your client, your audience, your viewers is going to see it. So usually it should be true. Of course you can change it. In my case it's always true. And so here it is, passing it all. I like to align my arrows. You don't have to do it. So this is the function, and at the end we actually register the post type. So I'm using Sublime here, so if I hover over this function I can actually go and see the definition of it, and I can see what it expects here as well. So this is like kind of your own documentation. It saves you some time. So this is fine. Okay, this is quite simple. You even saw it in the WordPress, okay, in the documentation. So what I'm doing here on init, I have an action. I'm calling this function, register job post type, and I'm calling this function and I'm passing it. So the post type name is going to be job, plural name job, singular name is going to be job, the slug is going to be job, the capability type is going to be post, and what it supports title, editor, and author. Okay, so now let's see how it really works. So if I want to add new, so I have here title, I have the editor, and I have the author. So if I'm going to remove this author, let's save it, and you see, disappeared. Bring it back, here it is, right? Very simple. So this is the shield of the post type. Okay, now you can actually save it. If I'll click here on web developer, for example, I can actually publish it, and here it is. All right, but let's say your customer, maybe he wants some more fields. Maybe he wants an how to apply field, city, country. So let's we will do it. We will make it very basic. Okay, so let's start with the how to apply field. The how to apply field is going to be an editor, just like this, so the user can style it, maybe add an email, link, whatsoever. So we want to render an editor. So first of all, let's create the function for it. Now, here everything works in meta boxes, so we basically need to add a meta box. So this is a meta box. So we will add another meta box with the how to apply field. So we will create here a function, all right, and we're going to call it how to apply, and this will render the meta box for us. How to apply, and we want the WordPress editor. So let's see. Well, actually, we can type here WordPress editor, okay, and we can hover over it. Let's take a look at the definition here. When it accepts the content, editor ID, and some settings. Okay, so the content is the initial content for the editor, so if the user is updating it, it probably had a previous content. So this is it, and the editor ID is the text area field with that ID, and some settings. Now you can go over the documentation again and just type WordPress editor so you can see what the settings are, but I don't want to waste too much time on that. But as you can see how useful it is to have an editor like Sublime or PHP Storm. It serves at your own documentation. Okay, so for the content, we will make it empty at the moment because we don't have any content. The ID is going to be how to apply. WordPress will generate the text area for us already, so we don't need to do it by ourselves. And the settings, so let me create some settings here. Let's create an array. By the way, this array syntax only works on PHP 7, okay, so be careful. Quick tags, we don't want quick tags. Media buttons, we don't want that as well. You might want it, so set it to true. I'm only showing it to you so you would know that it exists. Just for this tutorial, it really doesn't matter. Editor heat is going to be 120 pixels, and let's align this. So this should be fine. Let's see if we're getting any error. Okay, that's fine, but of course we're not seeing it yet. The reason we're not seeing it yet because we need to let WordPress know, hey, we have a meta box, and as you can guess, it's probably in action. So let's first of all take a look a bit at the documentation here, and let's see if we have add meta box. Fires after all built-in boxes have been added, so add meta boxes. So this is actually an action hook, we might need that. And this is how we add the meta box as well. So this adds the meta box to one or more screen. So if I type here, so let's make a function that adds job meta boxes. Okay, so let's say if we might have multiple meta boxes for the job post type, we will put it here. So now we will have here one add meta box, and if we hover over it here, let's see the definition of it. So it needs the ID of the meta box, the title. So the title would probably be something like this. This is the author. A callback function that actually renders it. In our case, the callback function is going to be this one, how to apply. Screen is basically, it can be actually your post type as well. So it's going to be job because this is our post type. There are other options you can actually read here, or you can read everything in here as well. It will let you know exactly. Okay, so this is it, and the context, advanced, default. Okay, so this is fine. So here we actually add the meta box. So we want the ID. So the ID can be a job, how to apply, Make sure that it's unique. Okay, don't call it how to apply in this function how to apply. This might cause you some weird issues. So make sure it's unique, and the title is going to be how to apply. And the callback function is how to apply. Okay, remember, it's this one. Okay, and the screen is going to be job. The context is going to be normal. Again, you can change it to whatever you want, and priority is default. Okay, you can play with it, change the values, and see how it affects it, but it's very basic. Okay, so this is how we add a meta box. Now, no error, but we still don't see the meta box. This is because we still need to hook into this action, add meta boxes. Fires after all built-in meta boxes. So okay, so we need to actually add an action. Let's see. Okay, I happen to know what it is. Add action, and it's called add meta boxes, and we're simply going to pass it this function. Let's save this and see what happens. Here it is. Let's put it here. So this is actually the field. It's actually working. You see how it is, how easy it is? So we created a function, and here we told it this function we want to render an editor. So here it is. The title is how to apply, and if I can change it here to another letter Y, you see it changes right away, and this is working. Okay, so now this is the description basically. If I save it, as you can see, well actually, let's see if this one is going to be saved. How to apply. Well, it's not being saved, and to prove it to you, you pretty much have the feel for it. So you actually, here you get for free the global post. Okay, and let's say I have a field called how to apply. So get post meta, and we will get the post ID. How to apply is the key name, and we will set it to true because otherwise it will bring us an array. So get post meta, definition is post ID the key, and whether it's single or not, the default is false. So be careful with that, because you're going to get an array and you might get an error if you're echoing it wrong. So this is our actually field, and it should be here because this is our content. So how to apply, and if we save it, yeah, we don't see anything here yet because we're not saving it. So what we need to do, we need to hook into the save post event. So there's actually a save post, and we need this one, save post, post type. Okay, so fires once a post has been saved. Okay, so save post, post type. So this is what we need to listen to basically, and we will do it. It's quite easy. So let's create a function, and we're going to call it save job data, and you will see here what it expects here. As see here the post ID, let's see the post ID, the post object, and whether this is an existing post being updated. Okay, these are the parameters. So we get the post ID, we get the post object, and whether this is an update or not. Okay, and we want to save it, so let's do meta keys. This is a nice way of saving multiple at once, saving if you have multiple meta keys, how to save them. So in our case, our key is how to apply, and here I'm going to specify the type of it. Okay, in this case it's going to be an HTML because this is an editor, right? This is a WYSIWYG editor, so it's going to be an HTML. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a for each, and it's going to be meta keys as meta key, and this is going to be the type. Okay, so what we will do here is we will first check whether this type is set. Okay, so let me just paste this here. Usually it's always set, but just as a precaution I like to do it, but you don't have to do it, because only checkboxes that are not checked won't be set when you submit the form. But because this is a text area, it will always be set in general. But just in case, because maybe you're going to make a mistake here, whatever. So we're going to check if is set, in this case only how to apply. We will also want to check the type. So if the type is equal to HTML, okay, and oh yeah, WordPress like to do this spacing, then the value is going to be equal. Now because this is in we want to secure it, but this is an editor field, so if we will use sanitized text field, basically what will happen, it will strip all our tags, and we don't want that to happen. Okay, we don't want to strip all our tags, all our HTML tags, so we want to use this function WordPress post, which basically calls this function. We can call it directly, but to make it more clear, we're going to use this function. So this is the function that WordPress uses to secure this editor. So it will only allow a predefined HTML text to be rendered, and the rest it will strip it away. Okay, so we're basically using what WordPress is using, so which means it's fine. And of course we're going to trim it just in case. And yeah, this is pretty much it. So now we need to save it. So there's a function you can guess called update post meta. We can always use update because if it doesn't exist, WordPress will create it for us. We want to pass it the post ID, which we get it from here. We want to pass it the meta key. Of course, by now it has been validated that it's okay. And we want to pass here a value. Let's save this. Okay, now let's see if it's going to work. How to apply, send us. Oh no, it's not going to work because we're missing something. We didn't add the action. So add action. And it's going to be save post job. Okay, this is this part. This is the post type. Okay. And save job data, and yeah, 10 and 3. It's like priorities, but this one is good. Yeah, you can read more about actions. And let's see. Okay, now send us an email. Let's update. Okay, let's see, we're missing something. For each meta keys as meta key type, we're going to check whether it's set. If it does set, and here it is, we're going to trim it, and then we're going to update the post meta with the post ID, meta key, and the value. And this is our action: save post job, save job data. This is our function. How to apply, how to apply. Let's echo this, see if we're missing something. Okay, let's see what we're missing. How to apply. Oh, yeah, this is my mistake. How to apply. This is basically the field that is going to be the name of the field as well. Yeah. Okay. Now this should work. Sorry about that. Send us an email. I got our call to undefined function update most meta. Huh. Yeah. Sorry about that. send us an email. Here it is, it's working, right? Send us an email. And let's see if the validation works properly. Test, let's paste this one and let's put it in the center. If we will update it, you see, send us an email, test. So it keeps the HTML tags, okay? If I will do a sanitized text field instead, it will strip it all and it's just not going to work, okay? So first of all, we actually have here a meta field called how to apply. Okay, so remember, because I made here a mistake. So this how to apply is going to be also the name of the field, which you need to listen to and save, which is this one. Okay? Very, very, very simple. Now, let's add quite quickly a city and country meta fields, so you will know. So we can do here function, and I'm going to call it location. I'm repeating again, be careful with the naming of your functions, okay? Make sure that they don't collide with other plugins. Just give it a unique name, put it under a class, whatever. And now I installed this plugin called the WordPress admin style. It's pretty useful. What it does, it helps you to write forms, inputs the WordPress way. So we can have like 4 elements, field set inputs. So we see regular text, small, and we can see this one. Okay, so for example, if we will copy this one and let's take a look at our job locations. So we want to write some HTML, so let's remove those. Let's close here the PHP tags. So if I'm gonna add here an input, and let's add this meta box quite quickly. So it's a job how to apply, so it's going to be location. Location as well. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's see. Yeah, here it is, regular text. Okay. Class regular text, yeah, the value, okay, so this is fine. So so the name of this is going to be city. Okay, city, get rid of this. Placeholder is going to be city. Let's copy this. It's going to be country. Country. Okay, it can use a bit of margin, but I'm not going to go into CSS right now. So again, once you create the first meta box, the other one is quite simple. So now let's save it, and I can see it's going to be very easy to save it. So we will have here a city. Now in this case, it's just going to be text. I'm going to have the country, which is going to be text as well. So because it's text, so we're going to make here an else, okay? And we can copy this one, basically, but instead of this function, what we will do is we're going to use sanitize text field. Yeah, that should be it. Let's hover over it and make sure. Yeah, sanitize text field. Okay. City, country. So let's see if this is going to work. And let's do NYC, USA. Let's update. And well, we don't know if it really saved or not, because let's use global post. And city is going to be equal to get post meta post ID. This should be all capitalized, okay? Otherwise it's not going to work. This is just how it's in the database. City is the key, and of course it's going to be true. And let's just copy this. country. So the value is going to be city. Country. Let's take a look. USA, NYC, and USA, and United States. Update. It's updating, so it's working. See? Congratulations. So let's sum up this. Okay, very simple. I created a reusable function to register a post type. These are all the options. You can change it, modify it. Okay, just know that they exist. Read about it. Make sure you understand it. Don't just copy paste me. Make sure you understand it. Okay? So I'm registering here the post type. In this case it's job, but can be any post type that you want. Make sure that your functions are unique. Okay, always use a prefix, put them into a class. And on init, we're going to register the job post type, and then we have meta boxes. So we can have here how many meta boxes that you want. In this case, it's how to apply and location. WordPress will render the editor for us already. And this is the location, and this is how we add them. Add meta boxes. This is the action, and it accepts a callback. Okay. And these are the two meta boxes that we're adding. And we're using get post meta, and we need to hook to the save post action. So it's save post, post type, in this case is job, and these are the meta keys: how to apply, city, country, and if it's an HTML, we want to treat it differently. And we can update the post meta. Also, it's always update, because if it doesn't exist, WordPress will create it for us, so don't worry about it. And let's see, maybe update post meta. Okay, so yeah, just go over all the functions just like I do in the codex. Everything is quite simple. So I hope you enjoyed it, and again, read the documentation. Don't be frightened. It's very easy. As you can see, it's very easy to create a custom post type and create meta fields. It's really, look how little code, and it's perfectly legit. So now you'll probably want to create a single job.php file in your team so you can render the jobs as regular posts, and all the great stuff. Okay, so let me know if you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please ask. I'm glad to help. And have a great day.